However, we do need to be skeptical of these numbers because, as we know, Amazon has gone to the extreme to protect this franchise. Remember, they spent $1 billion on this show. To compare and contrast, you had something like Thor: Love and Thunder that had a $200 million budget. You got things like Game of Thrones doing what did they do, 10 million an episode or something like that. So for this show to spend $1 billion, the way Amazon sees it, it cannot fail, which is why they're going to the extremes, like hiding reviews on IMDb. Notice if you go to IMDb and look up anything less than a 6-star review, you will not find it. Yet if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, you'll see all sorts of bad reviews for the Rings of Power. So I guess people aren't using IMDb. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Atreus. I'm coming at you live from the ATL, bringing you more gaming entertainment news, commentary, and analysis. Today, we got to talk about that Rings of Power viewership and everything that comes with it after the drop. Alright guys, so before we get into it, you already know we gotta handle a little bit of the housekeeping. Go ahead and hit the like button, the red subscribe button. We are at 280 subscribers for today. Remember, the goal is 400 by the end of the month. We are ahead of the game, so go ahead and do your boy a favor. Alright, if you don't like the content, go ahead and hit the dislike button and roast me down in the comments. That's cool too. Follow me on Instagram at ATRAES _ and follow me on Twitter at the number 4 TRAES. All right, let's go ahead and get into the news for today. All right, so over the weekend, guys, we got some news on the viewership for the Rings of Power. So the Lord of the Rings of Power premiere draws 25 million global viewers in the first day, Amazon says. Now, first of all, this should not be surprising. It's Lord of the Rings. It's one of the biggest IPs on the planet. All right. It's we rarely get any like period piece fantasy types. You know what I'm saying? We rarely get that. So it begs to reason that people would be interested in watching this. It's been almost 20 years since we've seen like some, since the Peter Jackson trilogy or whatever the case may be. However, we do need to be skeptical of these numbers because, as we know, Amazon has gone to the extreme to protect this franchise. Remember, they spent $1 billion on this show. To compare and contrast, you had something like Thor: Love and Thunder that had a $200 million budget. You got things like Game of Thrones doing what did they do, 10 million an episode or something like that. So for this show to spend $1 billion, the way Amazon sees it, it cannot fail, which is why they're going to the extremes, like hiding reviews on IMDb. Notice if you go to IMDb and look up anything less than a 6-star review, you will not find it. Yet if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, you'll see all sorts of bad reviews for the Rings of Power. So I guess people aren't using IMDb anymore. I guess, whatever. Anyway, so let's get into this article. Amazon broke a long-held precedent Saturday by revealing viewership data for a Prime Video series for the first time ever, making the exception on remaining tight-lipped about its internal TV ratings for its big budget, The Lord of the Rings TV series. I mean, that shows you right there. They normally don't reveal TV ratings, but all of a sudden they're willing to reveal this. Why? Because they need it to appear like it's successful. So maybe it did hit 25 million. Otherwise, if it didn't, they would probably stay silent about it. Anyway, according to e-commerce giant, The Lord of the Rings was viewed 25 million viewers globally over the initial 24 hours that the TV series first 2 episodes were available for streaming on Prime Video in 240 countries and territories. Excuse me. Amazon's The Rings of Power debuted globally September 1st and 2nd, depending on what territory and time zone Prime customers were streaming from across the world. The first 2 episodes dropped at 6 p.m. So, with Amazon never before releasing numbers for a Prime Video series and only Nielsen's top 10 streaming data for popular series like Reacher and The Boys to use as third-party benchmarks for success for the streamer, it's hard to say just how big of a hit The Rings of Power is. For Prime Video, however, Amazon said Saturday that Rings of Power's performance broke all previous records, making it the biggest premiere in history of Prime Video. Okay, so that's not really saying much. Lord of the Rings should be breaking. It should be the biggest show on Prime Video. All right, it's the Lord of the Rings. The Boys is a good show, but it's a relatively new IP, not established. People are just getting caught on to it. Matter of fact, The Boys didn't catch on to me until this year. I heard enough positive talk about it that I finally decided to go and bench the first 3 seasons. And guess what? Now I'm waiting on the 4th season like the rest of y'all jackasses. Thanks a lot. All right? Thanks a lot. I thought the 3rd season was going to be the last season. Apparently not. So thank you for that, dicks. Anyway, and so, this really shouldn't be a surprise, but revealing these numbers shows you that they're trying to fight the negativity surrounding it. They're pretty much using this as a own, like, haha, bitch. All that negative stuff y'all was saying about our show, yeah, 25 million viewers. All of that's good and dandy, but how will it perform over the next few episodes? I find it interesting that how long is the show? Well, I thought it was like, is it 6 or 7 episodes? If it's 6 or 7 episodes and you release the first 2 in week 1, I mean, that tells me you did exactly like what WandaVision did on Disney Plus. Disney Plus knew that the first episode was going to be hard to hook viewers, so they released the first 2 episodes instead of just 1, and that's what hooked people instead of releasing the first one, because they didn't want to take that long to build up or risk losing the audience. They're doing the same thing here, but WandaVision didn't spend $1 billion, and the episodes were only 30 minutes. So, I mean, we'll see. This is more evidence of culture wars. All right, Amazon's doing this as a own. And yeah, all right. So what do I think is going to happen going forward? I fell asleep on the series. I fell asleep on it for the 4th time. The first 3 times wasn't its fault. The 4th time, I gotta be honest with you, it wasn't really that exciting. I'm gonna go back and rewatch the last episode, but I mean, hey, I still have my same criticisms, but we'll see come this Thursday. It's a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. So tell me what y'all think. Do you believe these numbers? Do you not? Are you watching the show? Are you enjoying the show? If so, let me know. And I'm going to get back up with you guys a little bit later on. All right? Deuces.